I mean, like they're real dyes, but they're the ones that already aren't in real, usage as much anymore. And then you think about it, a lot of the food that's available here in America, they don't sell this food in other countries, right?
They don't. They absolutely don't.
They don't sell this food in other
Whoa,
countries,
shit.
right?
There you go. Get myself together. Hey, man, look, this is the BOTB Live Show. I'm Jay Walker.
She
That's
froze.
Carolina Dirt. Say what?
She froze.
Okay. She'll jump back in, man. Tiki Blue is in the building. That's her beautiful frozen face right there. Hopefully we get her back in just a second. But it's the Hump Day Happy Hour Tap In, man. And again, we just here to kick the bobo. We was just talking just now about lifestyle changes and how food is poisonous and what we gonna try to do to circumvent that. So that's just to catch y'all up.
Yes. Can y'all hear me now?
We got you.
Okay, cool. Sorry about it. I don't know what happened.
She lost
It's
too much
all
weight.
good.
She lost more weight and sickness.
She lost the weight and the connection, huh? Man. Well, look, y'all, we got an intro that's gonna play, man. We're gonna be right back with y'all in just a couple seconds. Well, we are back. Just a few seconds. Again, welcome Tiki Blue to Bar BOTB. How have you been? I know we know because we've been talking about that for the last little while. But tell the people how you been.
I'm great. Let me tell you, 2025 does not owe me anything thus far.
That is surprising.
Right? Because it's been a year, right? We're like, it's just like, we don't really know, right? But when I tell you, as a Black woman, minding my own Black woman business, 2025 owes me nothing thus far. It is giving me exactly what it should be giving, and I am not upset about it.
I like that, man. Because, like you said, we've been through a lot of shit, but I appreciate the energy from the Black community kind of just being like, oh, y'all don't know how bad it can get.
Yeah.
We know how bad it can get. Y'all don't know how bad it can get. And y'all trying to figure it out.
This is none of our business. This is not our fight. We are going to sit over here, continue to semi-boycott Target, and mind our own Black ass business. That's what we're going to do. We're going to line dance. We're going to pop them fans. That's what we're going to do.
I see some dudes popping these fans because the fans is getting out of control.
Very much so.
The fans is real out of control. The fans is like $10 to $15 at the hair supply store. Fans used to be 78 cents. Fans are premium priced at this point, right? Like, come on.
I'm gonna go get the church. I'm gonna go get the church fan with the funeral home business on the back.
I got
with popsicle stick.
Two of them in the car right now. If we go to commercial break, I'll run down there and get you one.
Hey, look, straight up and down, man. Like I said, now that being said, we said all the cool shit about minding our own business and line dancing, and you made the point. You made the point of the fan being 78 cents and it's now $15. If we poured into Black businesses like that, we get the result we want.
True.
But we just making the Koreans rich off of this line dance. Like that's their residual income off of yet another thing that we created.
I done seen white ladies selling fans. I seen white ladies selling fans the other day on TikTok. Right. But
what are we doing?
I think we starting to get it together. I don't feel like it's a preaching point to partner with Black businesses and do business with Black businesses. We're gonna get to that a little bit later on in the show.
Okay.
Carolina, what's happening with you?
Shit, staying fat because she done talked about losing weight and man, I'm still fat. But ain't nothing going on. Ain't nothing going on. Like Tiki, I'm trying to stay out the political world, but I'm starting to inch towards it. Like obviously it's in my algorithm, but I'm actually paying attention and starting to, decipher some of the stuff. So I hate the term political, but I feel like I'm kind of going in that direction. But I also like it, so I'm not dumbfounded about certain shit I hear. So, but other than that, ain't nothing really going on.
You should always keep. Go ahead.
Oh, shout out. My oldest, her birthday was today. And then my homeboy, his birthday was today. So there's all
Happy born day, niece. Happy born day, homeboy. In the real way.
Yeah.
Hey, we love you.
Yeah, other than that, we ain't got shit going on.
Nah, you have to keep your ear to the political streets in order to protect yourself. Now, what you can't do is what we do is rabbit hole that shit.
I do.
For any subject matter that any event that happens, you're gonna have to filter through the muck and mire to find out what's real versus what's fake. And I don't know that I got that kind of energy no more. You know what I'm saying? We can't even rely on what used to be legit sources, credible sources. Right. There's no such thing as a credible source no more. So a lot of times when these things go on, we fall into the trap of picking a side when we picking a side based on a bunch of bullshit information.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
I try not to pick a side, right? Because like you just said, it's all some BS, right? But at this point in life, we've got to figure out commonality at some place, right? Because at the end of the day, we all have to keep going to these jobs, right? We all have to keep getting gas. We all got to keep going to the store to get food. Like none of these things that we need to do on a day-to-day basis to survive is going to change. So like I listen to what's going on, right? I wake up in the morning, I say my prayers, meditate on the day, figure out what my day is going to look like, read some news articles, right? So that I can have an idea of, what's going to be talked about during the day or whatever. But it's only so much, like you said, that I can allow into my spirit and into my space, right? Because I'm just not going to keep feeding negative energy, into my space. I'm just not going to do it, right? I'm going to extract what I need to, know the things that I need to. So like I said, I can bob and weave the way I need to. But after that, I'm good. I am good because, like I said, at the end of the day, I still got to survive. We still got to keep doing all of the same things that we need to do to survive day to day. So what am I getting all like super excited and, super zealous about stuff that I have no control over? People I have no control over. If this man sends out everything on a Signal chat app, okay. I am not losing my mind and raising my blood pressure over that. I'm not going to do it.
No, we already did that. We did that for the last 8 years.
We've been doing it for the last 400 years.
Well, I agree. And the other reason why I kind of pay attention is because my job industry where I work at, like that shit hit us hard. So now it's fucking up my work day. Like, my whole be happy they ain't got shit to do. That shit feel different because it's like, damn, what this shit shut down?
Right.
Like I'm man, my job is so directly affected. Like that's kind of why I be listening. But I feel you, like I try to talk positive. Like me and my brother in a text group and we send like funny shit and sports shit. Like I try to take my mind off it, but then going into work is like, damn, 8 hours a day. I'm in here. Even my supervisor's like, hey, try not to think about that shit. I'm like, shit, we ain't got shit coming through the door. Ain't shit going out the door. Like we need it. But in a sense, it's like I feel good when I can hold a conversation with somebody I don't know about the shit.
Right.
Like I know I'm gonna learn some shit, but I'm also gonna teach somebody else some shit. But yeah, I mean, you gotta have so much positivity around you this day and age, like just to get through the day. And it's really a mental health. It's not PTSD. It's like a form of PTSD because if, like you said, if you go down that rabbit hole, when you walk out the house, everything gonna piss your ass off.
Nah, I think it's PTSD. I think it's legit PTSD.
Well, that you need to be armed with the information, but you also need to make sure that you're armed with strong relationships, right? We're going to find ourselves aligned with people we probably never thought we would, right? For various reasons, right? But that's just part of growing and maturing and what we're going to have to do. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and I mean, it was just like, and I was just like, you sure you want to put this in writing? I was like, let me just pick up the phone and call you, right? Because I don't even want my responses to this stuff to be, misconstrued in any kind of way for, whatever reason later. And I let her talk through it and everything. And I was just like, hey, maybe let's not, put that on work chats, maybe let's not do that. But your feelings are valid. I get what you're saying. But it's nothing we can do about that. Let's find something positive in it and let's spin it that way, right? And let's go from there. And I found myself having to work with her on a variety of issues. And she's someone that, a lot of my other coworkers are just like, oh, I hate dealing with her and everything. And she wasn't my favorite to start with. But once I really understood what makes her tick, how she got to this point in life, right? Because at the core of it, there's some true commonality amongst all of us, right? There's a trauma someplace. We can trauma bond over something. There's an experience that has happened. There is something that has happened to each of us that is relatable to the next human being, right? And if you can figure out what that is, and then you can probably kind of start to pivot a little bit. And I'm not to say, if they're a raging lunatic, might be out of luck on that one and figuring it out. But if they have some semblance of, decency in there, we got to find it. And that's the only way we're really going to be able to pivot, to be honest. In corporate America, in civic jobs and civil jobs and private sector jobs, whatever the case may be, we're all going to have to figure this out together.
Yeah. I think what I figured out is they not gaining no more crazy motherfuckers. All the crazies have signed up. You feel me? All the crazy, they over there. Any of them people that's protecting Elon Musk's Teslas on their own time, on their own dollar, like that's the lunacy that she's speaking of. And you just gotta let them people go. You feel me? But I agree, for the most part, man, I feel like people have endured, ingested enough bullshit to where the reasonable people, they tired. And they not gonna yell and argue with you. They just gonna be like, nah, I don't fuck with that. Leave that over there.
Not today.
Yeah.
Not today. Because at the end of the day, you pay these mortgages.
You gotta live. You gotta breathe. You gotta eat something. You ain't gotta eat the poison, but you gotta eat something.
You gotta eat something.
Yeah. But Carolina was telling me you had some things on your agenda that you wanted to speak to.
Yeah. So, I've been, like I said, 2025 owes me nothing this year, right? And I'm super excited about that. And I just wanted to just bring awareness to a few things out there, because there's some things that we don't always have at our forefront. Like one, our education for our kids, right? I've really been on this whole charter school, I don't want to say bandwagon, but they really appeal to me for so many reasons, right? And I didn't get it before. And I was like, oh, they're cool or whatever, performing arts school or, whatever. But when you really start to get into, like what they're really bringing to the table on a granular level, because we can send our kids to public schools all over the place, right? And we all know, again, all the noise that's going on within them. And a lot of times they're failing us, but there's some great charter school options. And so one of the things I have been working on this year is working with Georgia Can, which is a parent advocacy group here in Georgia. And they teach you how, for free, you can take their classes, and they teach you how to like advocate for your kids, wherever your kids are, in terms of education, right? If you've got a kid on the spectrum, if you have a kid with an IEP, a kid with the EIP, a kid that's gifted, or a kid that's on grade level, like whatever you may need to figure out how to advocate for their best education. And so I've spent a lot of time this year advocating with the Georgia State Senate. I got to speak in front of the Georgia State Senate this year, advocating for charter school approvals. And then I got to go back and do a lobby day and meet with like our state senators and state state house representatives. So that's been really cool, and that's something that I really, I love it and I'm passionate about. And then next week, something else that I'm really concerned about is just health and wellness in our communities, right? And so another group that I work with on a professional level, they're having their annual fundraiser, Centers for Black Women's Wellness, right? Because Black women need wellness, and they were directly hit by some of the funding cuts, at the top of the year, as well as some of my other clients as well. But they're having their annual fundraiser next week on May 1st. Wellness for Pearls, and it is an amazing organization, for people to get out and really support, especially if you're in this Atlanta area. But they travel all over as well, so it's not just for Atlanta Black women, but they have black women all over Georgia. So if anybody's out there, get out there, look at cbww.org, look at their website, donate, right? Because we need it. We need it. They are actually out here trying to do the work, come into the communities. And I'll say this, in my professional capacity, I manage employee benefits, right? So I actually go out and do open enrollment meetings and stuff like that. And the one thing I always tell my clients, and this is something that, real talk, we all need to talk through, is you're paying for your benefits no matter what, right? You're paying for your medical, whether you really go or not, right? The one thing you need to do at the very minimum, get your preventative stuff done.
Yes.
Go get your well checks done, right? Get them done for you. Men, get your well checks done. Women, go get your GYN checks. Get your kids your well child checks, right? We're not going to know what's going on in our bodies if we don't know what's going on in our bodies, right? You may feel fine. There are so many people out there who were feeling fine and then died, right? For one reason or another, right? Go get your wellness checks. It's not gonna cost you anything. At least for now, it's not, right? That may change next year, but for right now, it's not gonna cost you anything. Go figure out what your baseline blood pressure is. Go see what your A1C is looking like. Go see what your cholesterol is looking like. Go get your prostate check. Go get these things done, right? And that's not somebody looking for a problem. You're gonna pay. You're already paying for it in your premiums, whether you go on a sick visit or not. Just go get these things done. And that's something I feel like we just cannot stress enough in our community, because we're so worried about the man knowing our business, right? But the man gonna know your business when you die, and they got to put you in the ground.
For sure, they gonna know all of it when you go.
They gonna know all of it. They gonna know all of it.
I mean, cause I seen one Republican, I can't think of the name, but he was talking about how they were gonna. The Republicans are trying to, for the people that don't get cut from Medicaid, they're trying to make people pay for Medicaid, even if it's a small fraction. And his defense was, like, he was in the military. He said, people get a call, soldiers get a call, and they'll run to the infirmary. Well, isn't that what you're supposed to do before your situation get worse? So
Right.
Yes.
I totally feel you. It took me a while. I've probably been on my preventative for like the last 15 years, maybe. Has it made a difference? Yeah. Have I already been paying for it? Yeah. So for me,
that's the main thing.
Yeah, for me not doing it previous, that was a problem. Like, I should have been.
You are paying for something anyway, and let's be real. Some of y'all is paying a Planet Fitness goddamn shit month to month too, but you paying it month to month for 37 months, huh? Ain't been in there that time. Never signed in for the first time.
You pay that annual $99 renewal fee every year. December, and you ain't been in there yet.
Planet Fitness full of shit though, because the shit that they make you do to cancel is crazy. But why cancel when you can go to the gym?
If I was gonna go to the gym, I wouldn't be canceling.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was going I think I started out this year going, and I had a good routine, but like they say anything, once you break that routine, it's easy to find an excuse not to keep going with that routine. But the thing with Planet Fitness is sometimes you need that push when you're working out, and Planet Fitness is just so lackadaisical. It's you're right. I can't just sit here because they don't care. And sometimes you just need that little competition or that little push, but Planet Fitness doesn't want that push in there. So that's kind of like the other, like
No, they don't want
participation.
you out there like a goddamn steroid monster,
No, I
hollering and
understand.
screaming and foaming at the mouth.
Right.
That's what
No,
they
but
don't want.
I understand
No,
that, but
I'm
also
gonna
you
say,
need some
go
people
ahead.
need motivation. Some people just need a little motivation, even if it's the motivation where they don't say nothing. But if they see everybody in there getting a participation award, like going to the gym, it's not like
That's
it
where we
needs
live
some
now.
it needs some kind of competitiveness in there.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told my nieces this weekend, right? Nobody owe you shit.
They don't.
Don't nobody owe you a pat on the back. They don't owe you an attaboy. They don't owe you any motivation, right? The only person that owes you something is you, right? So you have got to choose to get up every single day and choose you over everything else. You choose to go to work. You choose to have a drink. You choose to get on the internet. You choose to do a myriad of other things, but you got to choose you. And if you don't choose you, the only person failing you is you.
I do it better when somebody say I can't do it. You can't do
No, that's a fact.
Who's telling you that you can't do it?
Yeah, that's a fact.
it.
Right? And that's something that I have myself. I have to remind myself that every single day. Like I was telling you guys before we started recording, since the top of the year, I've really been focused on, and I've been working on weight loss for forever, right? Like just for a very long time. But this year, it clicked to me. It was like, man, you are turning 45. Quit playing, right? And so I really started focusing on it. And so like I have to motivate me to get up at between 5 and 5:30 every morning to work out, right? Like nobody else can do that for me. I got to get my butt out the bed to do the work. I got to get myself to the Y in the afternoons for my stress training sessions or whatever, right? Nobody else can do that for me. If I don't choose to do it for me, nobody else is going to do it, right?
For
So
real.
if you don't choose you, Carolina, nobody else is going to. You got this, friend.
Oh, that
She's
was
talking to me
motivation.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You
got
an
this.
asshole.
Y'all got this. Y'all got this.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
man.
it's just as much for me as it is for him because like in a real way, um, as you get older, shit just gonna suck.
It does.
You can slow up the suck if you do. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be too dark, but you don't want to be the old hunchback dude with the cane. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be favoring one side, you know what I'm saying, or needing it. Do something while you can fix it, because there's gonna come a time where you can't do shit.
You don't want to be the dude that can't get it up. And
Damn.
let me tell you something else, right? Because we're
Damn.
aging. Hold on. Let me say this. And I will tell you this from a woman's perspective, right? From a medical perspective, from every other perspective. If blood is not flowing to your heart, it is not flowing anyplace else.
Yeah. And that blood pressure medicine is definitely gonna make sure that you won't do.
But you don't even have to have the blood pressure medicine, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
not the end all be all.
it's
Like you
not.
don't have to be on blood pressure medicine.
There are so many other things that you can do. If you got some work that you need to do, you don't have to necessarily rely on Western pharmaceutical medications, right? There are a lot of other, holistic approaches that you can try. If you're like, oh, I want to be pumped full of drugs, that's fine. You have options. But again, you got to do the work to figure out what options are available in your area and what options are going to work for you. You got to find, a holistic doctor that, understands what your body is going through. Because the thing about it, Western medicine is designed to treat the symptom, right? They will give you a pill for whatever symptom you have. But the one thing it is not designed to do is to treat the cause, right?
Right.
So whatever is ailing you is never actually treated. They just keep giving you pills for the symptoms, but we never figure out the root cause of anything, right? And one pill is going to fix this symptom, but it's going to have a counter effect on something else. So now you need another pill to fix this, right? And then you get another pill to fix this. And then you're on 10 pills and you're still going to dialysis because your kidney and your liver is failing. right?
Because of the
But
bill.
whatever started the issue, you never fix that. And that's
Yeah,
what we got to learn how to address. But that leads me to my last project, and then I'm gonna get off because I know this is not about me.
No, do what you do.
So, you know, and part of my journey as well, because like I said, I've been losing weight for forever, really worried about trying to get my body right, trying to get my mind right, trying to get my money right, like just really making sure that I'm really at the top of my game, right? And I feel amazing, except for maybe my right knee, because sometimes my right knee be like, man, you play too much.
That's that 45.
Is that 45?
Suddenly, it's certain shit you can't do shit with.
Fine. Okay. Also, these kids don't care.
And they don't. Not just yours.
None of them care. None of them. None of them. Because packing her lunch for tomorrow was imperative.
At that moment, it
moment,
definitely was.
And she's been standing there for a minute, like.
Because you can't forget, because that's going to affect her day.
Yeah.
And what she needs to have in this bag for tomorrow, 10 hours from now, Mama, I need to go over this with you right now, right?
Because she know when you get up, you're going to be saying go to bed, and you ain't going to have no argument for that. You know what I'm saying? She ain't going to be able to get it in. So now you have to know.
That is 100% correct. 100%. No lie, so because I'm like, what else do you still need to tell me at this? Because you've been talking to me all day. What other words do you need to say to me? How many more words you got to hit till you get your word count? What do you want, little girl?
No response.
And they just look at me like,
she's working on free nights and free weekends.
Yeah.
Man, fuck these kids.
Okay.
Love them.
There is an occasion where that is the sentiment, and I don't make no bones about it. Some days it's like, oh man, you dumb. But there's a day where it's like, man, fuck you.
Right. And I didn't understand it. And at first, you don't understand it initially, right? And then something will occur, and then you like,
Man.
Yeah.
I get it now. I get it. It makes sense to me now. But anyway.
No, you were saying.
Oh, yes. So the one thing, another project that I've been working on, and I'm trying that will be released shortly, is Cam's Curvy Closet, right? Because you all know the one thing I love to do is to get dressed and be pretty, right?
Sure.
That is the one thing I love to do. And I love to do it on a single mom's budget, right? I'm not out here with, designer everything, because that's not for me. That's not reality. It's not realistic. That's not what my budget says, right? I got a mortgage to pay. I got kids to take care of. I got a car payment. I got insurance. I got water bills to pay. Like internet. I got all this real stuff. So spending thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars on one outfit is not the move for me, right? And also, when you've been, you're aging, you're losing weight, your body is changing or whatever, things that we may think look good on us at one point in our lives may not necessarily look good on us later in life, right? So the one thing I've really been spending a lot of time is really figuring out my matured style. I have no desire to be out here, and no shade to anybody else, but I have no desire to be out here in Shein outfits or Temu outfits with, have my body hanging out. That's not me, right? I completely understand Auntie Felicia when she said, "Go put some clothes on." I'm not offended by it, right?
Small pause to honor that queen. If you did not see Felicia Rashad on the Breakfast Club,
that was good.
She was like, she literally is like the black fairy godmother. Like, it's not even really human how she emotes. It's really ethereal. It's really royal. And go listen to that old lady, man. Just to listen to her tone. You won't even got to make out all the words. Just listen to the way she talk. It'll make you feel better, I promise.
It will. And if you don't understand what she's saying, if it does not resonate with you, you're probably not mature enough to get it, to be honest. And that's no shade towards anybody, right? Because we know that maturity comes with experience, not necessarily age, right? Because
Right.
there are
For
some
sure.
very mature, you know, few in yeared people out there, right? And I like to say old fools used to be young fools, right? Which
One
means they
time.
never matured. But if you're offended by her saying, go put your clothes on and then come back and talk to me, then get in somebody's face, right? See how people treat you once you put your clothes on. If that offends you, there are so many other things that need to be discussed, right? And disrespecting her and saying, oh, you've had 3 husbands and you've had this and you're exactly right. She's had 3 husbands. She has a 50-year career, right? Her money's straight. Her legacy is cemented, right? We still trying to get where she is.
Hmm.
Right? She's lived these days. We still trying to live. She has lived her best life, all her life, through all of it, right? We still trying to get there. But we going way off the subject, way off subject.
Oh
So
yeah, my bad.
we can go way down that rabbit hole. So yeah, I'm launching Cammy's Curvy Closet later this year, probably in the next couple of months. There's a few things that still need to get worked out, but yes, it will focus on finding our mature styles, how to put stuff together so that yeah, I may not have tons of money, but I need options, right? And that's the one thing women always need. We need options. But if you understand what works for your body, what works for your budget, what works for your lifestyle, that can make a difference. It doesn't make sense for you to go out and buy a bunch of clothes, business clothes, but you never go any place like that, right? Or it doesn't make sense for you to always buy street clothes, but you got to go to work in a professional environment. Like, what are we doing here, right? And that's the conversation that we need to have. And also, our bodies are changing. We're aging, right? And there are so many things that 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, even some 30-year-olds, we need to talk through, right? So part of the component is, as we're figuring out what's in our closet to wear, let's figure out our lives as well, right? Because we're all in a different space from where we've been. I've got friends that are like, I've been married for 12 years now, I'm going through a divorce, what do I do? Right? I never thought I'd be here. I'm like, and these are conversations that we all need to have, and there's no shade to anybody, but we just need to have them on a sister circle level, as a community level, right? Where there's truly no judgment. We're not trying to bash anybody. We're just trying to let people talk through what they're going through and letting them know, like, hey, we're here for you. It's okay. We all going through these things. Regardless of what social media have you believe, we all going through the same shits.
For
Right?
sure.
I wouldn't include. I don't know if you want to do it. I just think it's a good suggestion because you was talking about it. You should incorporate your daughters, because these little kids these days, the mother and the daughter that's 12 can't dress the same. Even back in the day with the old Target commercials, the old Walmart commercials, like those little girls were dressed like grown women, and there's no more of that no more. It's just basically what you see on TV or what you see on social media. So even the young girls, they need direction on like how to dress. Even if you
What to put
don't do
on.
it that way, like one of your organizations, if they would help show other little girls like how to dress or how to coordinate or how to put an outfit together and not be so I'm not gonna say sexual, but so enticing, because you don't know the age of somebody looking at them little girls.
That is
And
correct.
that needs help. There's no more of that on TV in commercials anymore either.
Nah. You got to do it at home, but if you don't do it, you definitely not gonna get it from the public.
Yeah,
Nobody is going to. The internet is just inundated with all the imaging on the internet needs explanation, and that's the major problem. Is a lot of these kids don't have nobody willing to sit down and educate them on what is real and what is not real about the internet and the things that they see and hear on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So it's a larger conversation. The
It
fact
is.
that you want to make a safe space for people to grow old, because that's what we don't necessarily get from this younger generation. And this is something that we always talk about, is trying to bridging that gap to where we communicate again, because there is there is a divide between every group, between every social group. Kids versus their parents, men versus women, siblings, friends, whatever you want to call it. But you need a place and a community of people that are similar to you that will hold you accountable, be willing to teach, and you be willing to accept. Everybody has a victim mentality. Not everybody. Stop saying those blanket statements. A lot of people have victim mentality. Like you want to be able to go say and do what you want to do. And then if somebody checks you, however
Right.
politely, intellectually, modestly, you become the victim. And they are gaslighting you. They are trying to do something to you. Just be willing to hear the information. At the end of the day, you don't have to change. And because you don't have to change, you don't have to act like an ass or break down in tears that somebody had a criticism of you.
Right. And I'm glad you said that. I had this very conversation with my nieces this weekend, and I was telling, and I was talking and another young lady, and I said, I don't think you're a bad girl, right? I don't think you're a bad young lady, right? But what I think is that you're lacking guidance. What I think is that you have not had the proper role models in your life to mold you into the young lady that you need to be. And at this point, you are now somebody's mother, and
Mm,
you don't have the time or the opportunity to keep running around here like a stupid girl. And the one thing I will tell you, people, you can call me a whole bunch of things, but one thing you can't call me is stupid.
mm.
Right.
Say
And
that.
I tell them, I say, I make moves on my terms. I have the life now. Is the life I have now is the life that I've created for myself. Right. I don't wait for anybody to give me anything. I go out and get what I need. Right. I'm smart enough to recognize I can't do it on my own. I have to have relationships and form partnerships, and I need my village. Right. But also, I'm smart enough to know that there's guidance that I needed, right? I need to be guided on some things. And that's what I said, you're lacking guidance. And she just kind of looked at me, and she let it sink in, and she was like, okay. And I told her, I said, don't let this little boy play in your face. Don't keep having babies with people you don't want to be tied to for the rest of your life.
Mm,
Don't get stuck in a job that you hate because you're making short-term decisions now, right? And you're not thinking long-term. Life is the long game, not the short game, right?
mm.
And if you
For
get
sure.
stuck just looking, at the trees and you never see the forest, that's where you're gonna stay. And we have to have these conversations with our young women, even with our young men. You guys are gonna have to have it with the young men. And we're just gonna have to give it to them straight, point blank. Like, look, this is what it is, because at one point you're going to be the adults in the room. And if you can't manage yourself, who the hell else you gonna manage?
Yeah. Yeah. I now feel like my parents felt
Right.
about
And
us. Like with the generation, not necessarily the millennials. I'm not a millennial. I think y'all are millennials by the chart.
I'm an ex.
Oh, you X. Okay. So y'all both X's. X is 80, right?
Bruh, I'm an ex.
It ends in 80 is what I'm
She,
saying. I wasn't trying. You already said your age because it's too
yeah,
late
you did already
to
say
fall
Right.
on
your
that
I
age.
don't
sword.
need you to double back down on it and want to get specific with the math. We already covered
Okay,
it.
my
Go on,
bad. Okay, so I don't have problems with. I'm X. I don't have a problem with millennials. Um, the disconnect starts with Gen Z. You know what I'm saying? And they just had too many options, and we don't understand them because we didn't have very many options. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you can get them to buy into that point when you're talking to young people, okay, you don't understand me, and I don't understand you, and that's all right. Tell me what I don't understand about you. You know what I'm saying? Have that conversation back and forth because you got to find a place, like you were saying in the beginning, a median entry of just like experience. You know what I'm saying? We more alike than we are different.
Right.
Just living a human existence.
Right.
But yeah, Generation Z and behind, they've been given so many options. I know why they can't choose shit. I know why they can't concentrate on shit.
They
Because
can't even
every
handle it.
day, absolutely, absolutely, there's too many things that they're exposed to too many things. We didn't have that kind of access. We had the little universe that we had. Even if you lived in a huge city, if you was poor, you never went to the other side of that city. You don't know what the fuck they was doing over there. But now we exposed to the world. You have a relationship right now. You can meet somebody in South Korea, and with a translator, that can be your best friend in 2 weeks. That is a problem.
And now y'all in love.
Well, there you go.
And
But
y'all soulmates and twin flames.
And it's the art. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's the art of correction. We was
Yeah.
able to get corrected by everybody and by whomever. And this generation, if you get corrected, their parents gonna jump on you for trying to help them get straight. So
Yeah.
that also is a big problem. The village was bigger back then. It was more structured back then. Everybody know who grandmama was. Everybody knew grandmama had 18 grandkids and she still ran the house. Even all of them dropped off there, she still ran it. And now it's like grandmother 43, 44, and she partying.
She got her fan.
Right.
Yeah, and people don't understand, like, that do make a difference. We used to laugh about you being at grandma's house watching Heat of the Night all the time. But watching Heat of the Night, you learn how to cook, you learn how to clean up, you learn how to take care of yourself, you learn how to bathe. Like, there's a lot of structure within that, even though we joke about it. But now, shit, everybody in there watching Power together.
Yeah, like
that is kind of a slight issue. But like my brother said, the access to the world is very big in that.
Yeah. Except I'm not watching that because I'm finna go to bed on time.
What?
Look, before we get you up out of here, this is just one thing that we want some commentary on, man. And it leads to that community type issue. Now, I don't know where your kids at. It's gonna be a lot of swears. So I don't know if you want to turn down or whatever. We're gonna do all of them.
Oh.
Us. Oh, I'm black. No black people. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Kill that shit. Either you got a good business or you don't. All that shit, don't nobody want to hear that shit. That's a hustle. Support me because I got a black business. Is your restaurant clean? Is the food good? Do you got consistent cooks? Is the material of your shit good? Stop doing that. Oh, you support the white people? No, I support consistency, baby. Yeah. Well, fuck about what color you is. I'm gonna spend my money. That paper, I'm gonna spend them millions where the fuck I want to spend it at. Whether it's Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do while I'm here. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, I ain't gonna be finessed off some black shit. But one thing about it, 70% of you motherfuckers is not going to make it. I'm not no motherfucking fake ass motivational speaker that talk this dumb shit. I'm the #1 nigga in the country. You know why? Y'all seen me come out of the penitentiary. I make millions and I make millionaires, baby. You understand me? I come from the ghetto.
So, the question is, or not even a question, how do you feel about that clip?
I disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree that we shouldn't just blanket support black businesses, right? Because I do think we take black business support for granted, right? I'm here in Atlanta. There are a ton of black restaurants, right? And I'm always like, I want to support my own. But then you go there, the food is overpriced and the service is subpar, right? And it's like, damn, every one of these is attitude. I'm here forever, right? You ask for a manager, they may or may not come. Like, it's always something, right? We take our own for granted. So I think he is right in terms of we got to stop that blanket support because we do take it for granted. My problem is if we don't support our own, right? because I'm trying to say this the best way I can. We're not always at the table,
For
right?
sure.
You won't know that I have a good business plan if I'm not at the table to have the discussion with you, right? And in my line of work, I am often the only, right? The
For sure.
only woman, only African American, the only, right? And I sit in the room and I listen. And I listen to them talk about, oh, our kids go to school together, right? And all their kids go to private school together. And I'm listening to them say, oh, we went to school together, right? They all went to private school together. They all go play golf together, right? They go to church together. There are already outside relationships that they have formed to form professional and business relationships, right? And it's built strictly on that, right? They get the meaning of community and supporting their own, right? They have these conversations, and I can't be in a conversation to present my idea if I'm not even at the table. And I'm not going to be at the table because your table's already full with the people that you already know. Right? The people that you've been, y'all are second, third, fourth generation business partners. Right? You may or may not entertain me here and there just to say we entertain, to meet a quota or whatever, right? So we do need to keep supporting our own so that to make sure that we have the access, right? But when we get that opportunity, when we get to the table and we present our ideas, we present our business plans, right? We have got to execute, and that is where we are failing. Because at the end of the day, there is enough for everybody to eat.
Agreed.
Right? Nobody is going to starve. There's enough money out here for everybody to eat. Nobody's trying to take yours, right? There's enough for all of us, but we've got to be smarter than what we've been and learn to work together, right? And that's not what we're doing. So I do agree to some degree, but not all the way, because if I'm not even at the table, how do you even know what my business plan is?
Exactly.
Right. I don't even know where the damn table is because nobody even told me where y'all was going to even be at the table.
For sure. How did you feel, Carolina?
I agree with him, but I understand what Tiki's saying. But I also want to say, like, Tiki, you have a standard, and I think that's the other thing. Like, a lot of times we invest in these black businesses, and me and my brother talked about this before. Many times it's the customer service isn't up to par. Like if you say take this back, there's an attitude. If you say I don't like this shirt, I want a refund. That's where the attitude comes. But there still has to be a certain standard and decorum when that communication happens of why you don't like the service or the product. And sometimes we lack in the black community because we take it more personal as far as the buyer and the seller, because we think we're supposed to understand each other because we're both black. You're supposed to understand why I already don't like it. No, I need you to break it down. But when you break it down respectfully, just like I'm going to communicate with you respectfully. And I think in a black business, like once we have a bad outing, like we'll cut them off quick. A white restaurant, a white clothing store, a white sunglass hut or whatever, we'd be like, I'll give him another chance. But if that standard hasn't risen, you can't be mad that black people cut you off in the black community.
Right.
Also, especially, and I've just thought about this today, and it goes back to the whole what we hear in the outside world with politics. Like we're doing the Target thing. You want to do the Walmart thing. You want to do the Amazon thing, right? And you're asking for these black businesses, and like Motivated Mind said, like you're not hearing the black businesses being advertised. The problem with that right now is if you get influx with customers, you can't hold it because the tariffs are too high. So now it puts a bad rap on you for not being able to maintain product or service because you got influx with so many black people that you can't get the shit shipped in. So it kind of puts you behind the eight ball, because if you can't keep stuff on the shelf, black people, she ain't never got shit anyway. Right. Every time I go, they ain't got shit. So like that kind of plays a role too, especially now with the way the economy is now. But I agree with you, Tiki. I agree with him about 90%, and I probably agree with you about 70-80%. But I just think it comes down to black people and hold each other standard. You have a certain standard the way you do work. If you're the only black woman at your job, whatever, that's a standard. So any black woman come behind you, they got to meet you or they out.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing.
I feel like you have a duty to indulge or do business with black folks, with people that look like you. You know what the benefits of doing that business look like. Nobody is saying to spend money for a bad product or service. Everybody is going to agree with you that if it was frozen ices, if they use salt instead of sugar, that is a product flaw. You feel me? Should you at least go in the door of a black business, black salon, black carpenter, do business with a black landscape? You should look to do those things. If it doesn't work out after you do it, go another direction. But there's not only one black landscaper or only one black painting company. We feel like that as a people sometimes. You feel like they have bad service, so I'm not fucking with nobody. I'm not looking for nobody else. I'll just go let Bartholomew McDonald and his company do the shit. You feel me? We give up on supporting black business quickly. But did you know that there's a black-owned toilet paper?
Yes.
Did you know that there was a black-owned bread company?
Yep.
Like that's the thing, is even if you're not directly spending money with them, tell people.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Tell people you can get bread from a not a market that's black owned. You can go straight to a black bread distributor.
But do we?
You know what I'm saying? Those are the conversations that we are bound to, that we should be speaking to.
But
right.
Now, outprice ourselves. Do we outprice our community?
Some of us are going to do that, but so do them crackers.
But well, okay, that's what I'm saying. So if it's white people, it's expected. But if it's black people, there's no way I go to the bar and order the same bottle of Hennessy, and at the black bar it's $13 a shot, and at the white bar it's the same one for $7. You can't be mad that people have an income or have a budget they want to stick with, and you think because you're a black business, people are supposed to come here and spend their money. No, people are trying to keep their roof over their head. They're trying to keep food on the table. So if I can do the same thing, and I look at your menu, I look at what you're selling, and it don't meet my price point, then you can't be mad that I don't spend money in the black. I can only spend what I got.
How do you know it was $13 there and $7 at the other place?
Either I give it a chance or somebody else give it a chance.
Exactly. That's all. That's the point that I'm coming at, is give people the opportunity. If your experience is not what you think it should be for the price that you paid, that's your right to take your business somewhere else.
Right.
But you have to give that chance. You shouldn't be deterred if you haven't given it a chance in the first person.
If I look at the price, I already know I can't give it a chance. Like these dudes cutting hair in Atlanta. If you charging $60, $70 for a haircut, I'm from Columbus, South Carolina. It might be $30, $40. That is high as shit, but I understand your market might be able to fit that, but you can't be like black business. I can't afford to go there.
Right.
Now I can go to my black homeboy down the street though.
Go ahead.
I want to speak to what Motivated Minds is saying, right? About how we need to advertise. It's not just advertisement, right? We have got to learn to form actual relationships.
Yeah, network.
We've got it's more than just networking. We've got to form relationships, right, that are solid. Because even if I might be pissed at you, right, but if I know that you got a good product, right, and I know that you really a fair businessman, I might be pissed at you about some other BS, right? But I know that you're not gonna do me wrong. I know if I refer to somebody to you, you're gonna treat them right, right? Because it's a solid relationship. And that is something that we are truly not forming anymore. People don't want to have conversations anymore. They don't want to talk. They don't want to intermingle. They want to advertise. They want you to follow them on. They want you to follow them on Instagram. They want you to follow them on, X or TikTok or whatever the platform may be. Right? Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Right? But we're not actually forming relationships, and that's what we're missing, right? We've got to learn to form relationships. We're missing it in business, right? We're not, and so we're missing the money right there. We're missing it in relationships. We're missing it in families, right? So because we're not forming relationships. Everybody's worried about being a high valued man and a high valued woman, right? Meanwhile, you're sitting your high value ass by your damn self, right? By yourself, not combining superpowers and forming generational wealth, right? We're missing the boat because we're missing the foundation. We're not forming true relationships, and that is what's needed in our community. Our relationships are broken. Our communication is broken, and so until we fix that on its most basic core level, the rest of it is not going to work. We're missing the foundations.
What I would say, like with this platform that me and my brother built, like it's built off relations. Like my invite to the show is an invite that it's like a relationship invite. The way I present it, the conversation before we go live, is real laid back. The conversation during the shows is live. Sometimes depending on what it is after the show is live. But what I will say is a lot of people have given us a chance, and it stopped. Because they never reciprocated the same energy afterwards.
There's no relationship.
There's no relationship. But if I come back and say if I come back and be like, hey, you want to get back on? A lot of times they'll be like, yeah, I get back on. And I tell them, I said, before you got the last show, if you want to get on, just tell me. But in the same sense, advertise. Like, tell other people about us. Like, we've had a couple people be like, hey, reach out this song, reach out. And we totally appreciate it. But as many shows as we've done and as many guests as we had in the relationship they had, we've had people say, hey, I ain't like no other podcast. Like, y'all wasn't looking for nothing. Like, it was straight vibe. Like, why aren't we acknowledged in that way? And I can say that for anybody. If you cut grass, if you do whatever, why aren't you acknowledged in that way? Like, we got nominated another podcast award, local award last week. And out that award show, of all the nominees, we probably interviewed 10, 15 of us. Now, have they ever reciprocated that on their platform and say, hey, these two brothers, they got a growing podcast, do this. We don't hear. But did we get nominated? Yeah, but I just feel like you said, the communication part, that's what I'm getting. The communication part. You do have to reciprocate the energy. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that energy is not reciprocated, so there's no relationship.
There's no relationship because we are in the instant gratification era. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like we've had anybody on the show be fake.
Tiki.
If you
she done lost all the weight. She came on here, one person came back, nobody.
She's still who she is though, cuz don't call her fake. She's just a more streamlined.
Right. Streamlined. We're just getting to the nitty-gritty at this point. We're just going straight to it. We literally missing all the fluff. We're just skipping all the fluff. We're just getting straight to it.
Now, at the end of the day, man, your duty is not to spend all your bread with a black-owned business. But you should consider it.
You should.
You should walk in a place before you say you're not going to give them your money. You should see what that sculptor or portrait painter or photographer or seamstress, whatever they service or product is, you should at least go see it before you say you don't want to deal with it. Now, if you
Right.
get there and it's two hot dogs and French fries and they want $27.50,
Which
that
is
is bullshit. I agree.
bullshit.
That is bullshit. Also, go find out if it's $27.50.
It's $27.50.
I'm just saying.
So what we always talk about, like, what do the business services have to offer the people? Like, we always talk about going there, investing, and we need to find these. What should the standard be for them as far as customer service?
You
product
have
service?
to see the product before you can make a determination.
It's two-pronged, right? You got to see the product, and also we need to start demanding that they reinvest back into our communities, right? Like, for instance, for where I live right now, there are a ton of businesses around, right? And they always say, "Hey, come spend your money with us." They come through our neighborhood and put their flyers in our mailboxes and all kinds of stuff, right? And we patron them, right? But on the flip side, once a year when we have our annual 5K for our neighborhood 5K in the area, hey, we need some sponsorship dollars, right? We have been patroning your establishment all year long. We need you to reinvest back in us. We go to the Kroger, we go to the gas stations, we go to the Papa John's, we go to all the places and say, hey, you need to reinvest back in us. You know, the schools are the same way, right? Go to them. We need you to reinvest back into the schools, right? We need you to literally put your money where your mouth is. If you want us to keep coming to you, not only do you need to show up and deliver a great service, a great product, a great menu, great food experience or whatever the case may be, but we need you to invest back into us. It has to be bi-directional.
It does.
If it's not bi-directional, then it's not going to work. And that right there, that's what we're missing right there. It's not bi-direct. It holds them accountable, because if they can say, well, you all come to us every year asking for money for something, but our sales are down, right? Like, or we have high theft. What's going on, right? Let's have these conversations about what's going on. Your people coming in here stealing, but you want me to give you some more money. Then we say, okay, guys, like, what's going on? We can address whatever problems or whatever the issues may be. You guys outside selling drugs, or they up here shooting up the place or whatever. I can't donate money, to the Christmas fund. I can't donate money to the school, or I can't donate money to the church or whatever, because I'm too busy replacing windows because it got shot up last week every time I turn around. Right? Then we can start to have these conversations, but it has to be bi-directional.
And that shout out the window thing, that goes back to the village. The village needs to protect, each community needs to protect its own community. And within that community, each block needs to protect its own block. It needs to protect whatever stores in there that funds that community. And we always hear about the non-other cultures having a store in the community. If that's the only store that so many people can get to, that store needs to be protected also, so they keep food on their table or whatever. Even if they got their prices high, if they can't get nowhere but there, that store needs to be protected until they can find an alternative.
I don't know, cuz fuck that store around the corner, cuz they had mayonnaise for $9.99, a regular jar of mayonnaise. So fuck them people, cuz.
You should throw that shit on the floor.
That 6 ounce container.
Bruh, $9.99. This is mayonnaise, nigga. I'm gonna use this once.
I'm just saying, for the people that can't get to the store on the regular that didn't need something, them little corner stores, man, they are high priced, but they do help the community out as far.
We gotta find out why, and we know why, but we don't own none of them corner stores. It's crazy because I've been in a million different hoods. I ain't seen a black-owned corner store yet. I ain't seen a black-owned corner store since we was kids.
But you do got the candy lady, the ice cream lady, the popcorn lady, the cooking lady.
Oh, for sure. There are people in your neighborhood that are going to do you a service. My thing is, make it part of the conversation. You know what I'm saying? If you are having a conversation with your homeboy about getting your motherfucking car painted and you know somebody, at least make the connection. Now, if he say I went to go meet him and he tried to charge me an arm and a leg, or he did it and he messed it up, that's something totally different.
Yeah,
but
that's
at
what I.
least have the conversation. Because
Appreciate
we be going to these other places owned by these other people, and they don't give a fuck about you neither.
Nope.
it. They don't. No.
Nope. I
Hey,
do it.
can I say two things real quick? I know we're gonna wrap it up in a second.
Mm.
One, hey BH, he always says that I never acknowledge him whenever I do stuff. So hey BH. And two,
BH. Who's BH?
What up, BH?
the mailman asked, is that a Peloton behind me?
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that. If I say it's yes, are you going to judge me? If I say no, am I cheap? Like I don't know what the appropriate answer is here.
Just say it's a Peloton that fell off a truck. I've definitely been, a receiver of some shit that fell off a truck. You know what I'm saying?
Do you
And
know that under tort law, it has to fall off the truck and be exchanged 7 times before you are removed from receiving stolen goods prosecution?
I didn't know that. All I know is if I got it because it fell off a truck, you know what I'm saying? You can have it back. If you come to my house to get it, if you tell me it fell off a truck, I'll get back to you. But if I received it because it fell off a truck, that is my business.
Yeah.
It's got to exchange hands 7 times before you are excused from prosecution.
So let me ask you. So if I give it to you 3 times, you give it to me 4 times. That's 7 times, right?
Mm.
However you do your math, whatever math you do to make that math.
I just tell you,
Exchange hands 7 times before you're void of prosecution.
I just tell people I know low people in high places.
That's a good one too. You was about to say something else.
No, that's all I had.
Okay.
If it's it means I'm about my health. Yes, I get up and cycle every morning. Let me tell you, that and the Apple Fitness. I mean, they're not giving me any money, but the Apple Fitness Plus, if you have that subscription, I love it because I'd like to do the cycle sessions and the various sessions on there in the morning times, and they work.
Let me ask you this real quick. I always want to know: riding a bike on a Peloton or is that better than riding like in the city?
It's different.
I know it's different, but I just between the commercials and like just being in the city.
I mean, yeah, it's different. You're really not getting the same sensation. Yeah, I can put it on like different
sceneries, modes.
Yeah, inclines, or how make it tougher, or change, like make it harder or something like that to get my heart rate up and stuff like that. But it's still different than being out there on the actual streets and riding my bicycle. Then it's definitely a difference.
You won't get hit by a car in your living room.
Right.
We had a guest. I don't know if you remember Jared, the tattoo guy.
Yeah.
I want to say Jared Jenkins. He does tattoos, but he's been in his bike mode for like the last several months. I think he just did a 18-mile bike ride or something. He said it was crazy. Huh?
He's probably in pretty good health.
Yeah, he's a thin dude. Yeah. My sister-in-law, they used to do in Charlotte. They used to do bike club. Like they all take their bikes, go to the city, and they all ride their bicycles through the city.
Holding up damn traffic. They always do it on a 2-lane road, holding up the damn traffic, because you got to give them 3 feet of space when you're trying to go around them, and it's never enough space to go around them, and so it's always that one that's in the back that's losing his stamina, holding up the damn traffic. I hate them.
You got to be prepared to get left.
Right? Get out the damn way.
I always said I wanted to do that instead of like walking. I just always felt like the bike shit. Even as a kid, you always gonna get further on the bike, and then you realize you got to get back home. You in a whole nother zip code on the bike.
Right.
You got to get back home. It's like psychological.
You rather do it on that bike than on them 2 feet.
Yeah.
He repeat get to talking back.
Yeah. So I don't like to go out and do stuff just because I don't like outside. I don't like mosquitoes biting me and stuff like that, right? So that takes that out. I don't like a treadmill because I feel like I'm walking nowhere. That's stupid to me. I'm not going to do it. It burns the least amount of calories. I'm not doing it. It's not for me, a good trade-off on, the usage of my time. So I'm either going to cycle or I'm going to use the elliptical. The thing is, like, you got to figure out like when to trade off, because if you do one thing for forever, you can master that, right? And your body gets used to it, gets conditioned to it, right? And then you say, oh, I'm finna jump off and do something else, and you are dying and fighting for your life because your body is not conditioned for that, right?
Just because you in shape for one thing, that don't mean you in shape for another.
That's exactly right. So you've got to switch it up. You might cycle for a while, and then you may, some days I might cycle, and then some days for my cardio I might do elliptical or whatever the case may be. And every now and again I'll just get outside and move my ass and stuff like that, walk. Because like you said, it's all that you're conditioned for different things, and they all use different muscle groups, right? And so you want to utilize all of them, and your body's going to be like, "Whoo, we hadn't done this in a while," and you like, "Oh, I should be good. I just cycled 10 miles. I should be good to walk 2 miles." Not the same.
Yeah. Yeah, you shock the system. Coach Dixie used to call it shocking the system. So you do like one workout for you do 3 different workouts for like the first nine weeks. And then after that, you do a whole different set of workouts for another 9 weeks. He's always called shocking the system.
You've got to do that. You've honestly got to do that, and we think, oh, like I said, like I've been cycling. And one other thing I did in December was, and I did one last summer, but I did another one this past December, was a 5K. And I had never, I'm not a distance person or anything like that. Again, I was just like, oh, I've been cycling, way more than 3 miles. Doing a 5K, walking it should be nothing. I was out there fighting for my life.
Okay.
Fighting for my life. I was just like, I can see the finish line, but
I think I can make it. If there's no time, I can make it.
Yeah, of course there's no time.
Yeah, you gonna make it, but how many times you gonna die?
That's not the problem. No time. But who wants to be out there for forever?
I mean, I ain't no lie. When I used to work at Target warehouse, man, I used to do like 30 miles a day.
Okay. Get your old ass out there and do it now when you haven't done it in a while.
Shit, I gotta take these titties off.
What your old ass can do now.
I gotta detach these titties.
Oh shit! This is a good place to go ahead and close out the show.
I go to bed. I'm done
some people don't have no manners because they don't care what they say. This has been dope. It's always dope catching up with Tiki, man. She always got something profoundly awesome in the way of mental, physical, spiritual motivation. You know what I'm talking about? So thank you for coming on. Is there anything else that you want to say or reiterate about your projects that's coming up before we get up out of here?
No, I just feel bad because I know that the topic was supposed to be Uncle Shannon, and
Yeah, we'll get to that. He's still gonna be a freak on Friday. I need more information anyway.
Right. So I feel bad that we didn't get there. But thank you guys for just letting me really share, like my platform, what I've been working on and everything like that. And of course, whatever I can always do for you guys, I'm always up for it. So I just appreciate,
You ain't always up. That's the problem.
Let this woman talk.
Okay, if you need something from me, I will respond to you when I get up at 5.
I'll be up.
Don't send me no bullshit at 9:48 because I'm not gonna do it.
He's
right?
Definitely gonna send you some bullshit.
Because it's gonna be some bullshit. It's gonna be some bullshit. I'm gonna deal with that bullshit when I get on a fresh brain. Don't give me no bullshit right now.
Oh shit.
My first husband called last night about this time, and I was like, "What do you want? We are asleep. What do you want, sir?" I'm just seeing how y'all doing. We are asleep. Call me back tomorrow. Call in the morning.
You ain't calling for that. You trying to see if he was up all right.
Okay. Again, we gonna get up out of here.
All right. I'm sorry, guys. Leave y'all alone. I love you guys.
For sure. Caroline, what you gonna tell the people?
Tiki, whenever you want to come back, you want to come back next week or the week after? Yeah, any Wednesday you want to come back. Even if we got a guest, you hold yourself well. So start giving me whatever Wednesdays you want, because Fridays we be late. We be up late. So whatever Wednesday, you and like 2 other people gonna be our regular co-stars. Like to get a woman's perspective on a lot of stuff we talk about. So
because we need that. We need that.
So whatever Wednesdays you are available, just let me know. We may have a guest, we may not, but we're gonna start doing it like that.
Okay, I can put y'all on my Wednesday calendar, my Wednesday rotation.
I like it. I like it. So, drink some water. Do something physical. Use the insurance that you've been paying for. Um, Seek wise counsel from your peers. If your peers are stupid, change your peer group. Um, and Uncle Shay still a freak on Friday. We're gonna do that. I'm Jay Walker the third. That's Carolina Dirt 803. That's Miss Tiki Blue, who is looking fabulous in 2025. You are awesome. And love the people who lay you back always. Until next time, we go. Y'all be easy.